Good evening. My name is Pastor Benjamin Seeley. I'm a pastor, a worship leader and an author from the UK, and I'm really pleased to be part of these 40 days of worship. This 40 days of worship to me is about setting our hearts upon the living God. It's not merely a music event or a campaign, but it is about returning the heart of a nation to Jesus. In authentic worship, we minister to God with the whole of our lives. True worship is not performance driven. It is not about how professionally we perform or how well we can sing a song. True worship is far deeper than that. It is about giving our lives over to God. In 2 Chronicles 7:14, God established a temple in the heart of Jerusalem, stating that if my people who are called by my name will humble themselves and pray, seek my face and turn from their wicked ways, then I will hear from heaven and I will forgive their sin and I will heal their land. At the centre of all that the Israelites were called to do, God commanded a lifestyle of worship, and it was from this place that he would heal their land. There are 4 pillars to their worship: to humble themselves, to seek his face, to turn away from their own ways, and to pray. And these remain the foundations of our worship today. Dedicating 40 days even to worship means that we are dedicating ourselves to the seeking of God's face, embracing his ways, humbling ourselves into praying. This is the culture and the lifestyle of worship that we are called to live in, having our hearts seek and long for him. One of my favourite biblical examples of true worship is from John 12. It says this: 6 days before the Passover, Jesus came to Bethany, where Lazarus lived, whom Jesus had raised from the dead. Here, a dinner was given in Jesus' honour. Martha served, while Lazarus was amongst those reclining at the table with him. And then Mary took a pint of pure nard, an expensive perfume. She poured it onto Jesus' feet and wiped his feet with her hair, and the house was filled with the fragrance of the perfume. But one of the disciples, Judas Iscariot, who was later to betray him, objected. Why wasn't this perfume sold and the money given to the poor? It was worth a year's wages. He did not say this because he cared about the poor, but because he was a thief. As the keeper of the money bag, he used to help himself to what was put into it. Leave her alone, Jesus replied. It was intended that she should save this perfume for the day of my burial. You will always have the poor among you, but you will not always have me. In this verse, we have 2 people who are sitting with Jesus, Mary of Bethany and Judas. Mary's reaction to Jesus exemplifies the meaning of worship. She was not content merely to sit with him, but she desired to minister to him, pouring perfume onto his feet and then wiping his feet with her own hair. This perfume cost a year's wages. She took the best that she had, maybe the most expensive thing that she owned, and she used it to minister to Jesus. She submitted to him absolutely, demonstrating that the most valuable thing in her life was Jesus himself. And we can contrast this behaviour to Judas's. Judas despises Mary's act because he did not love Jesus, and he couldn't comprehend Mary's worship. He uses Mary's selfless act to draw attention to himself and his own goodness. He boasts of how he could have used the money from the perfume to help the poor. Now, Judas didn't really care about the poor. What he desired to do was to display his own righteousness before men. He wanted to make himself look good. He used Jesus in his religious position to make himself look better and more important. He did not have the heart to understand what Mary understood, and neither did he behave as Mary behaved. Now, I believe that these 40 days are about our hearts becoming like Mary, where Jesus becomes our only desire and our only purpose. In John 7:38, it states that whoever believes in me, as the scripture has said, rivers of living water will flow within them. You see, genuine worship will bring with it genuine encounter with God. In fact, God states that he will inhabit the praises of his people. In 2 Chronicles, the glory of God became so strong as the priests ministered to him, they became overwhelmed by him. And this is what God has for a people who will turn their hearts to seeking him above everything else, an encounter with the living God. And this is what God has for the people of South Africa. So I look forward to worshipping with you in October and to meeting you all. God bless you as you begin this time of seeking the heart of God. And thank you.
King of kings, oh King of kings, there's no one like you. There is no one like you. There's no one like you.